right, welcome. I just want to preface this press conference. There are a lot of folks here. I know that were not here last night when Brett made his statement. We're sensitive to that. We understand you have a lot of questions. I think you understand also that the case has been reopened. So we'll stick with the statement that we made last night about Tyreek, knowing today is Frank's Day. And so we just appreciate and respect that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Brett here.
Yeah, today's an exciting day for the Kansas City Chiefs. We get to welcome 3 new members to our football club. We're excited about our 2 draft picks tonight, but there's no one we're more excited about than this guy right here. As you guys know, earlier in the week we reached a trade with Seattle. In that trade, we sent our first-round pick this year, our second-round pick next year, and we swapped 3s. Now, trades in the NFL happen all the time, but a trade of this magnitude is not done unless it's for an elite player. And certainly Frank is an elite player. Over the last 4 years, he's proven to be one of the very best pass rushers in the NFL, great run defender, and overall just a disruptive player. I'm sure the last few days in getting to know some of Frank's story, it really is a remarkable story. Coming up South Central LA, living homeless, just finding his way in life to where he is now is just truly remarkable. And one of the things that's equally remarkable is the work that he's done in the community up in Seattle, in regards to giving back to the homeless, giving back to the people in need, the food drives, the Thanksgiving Day drives, and spending time with kids in need. I mean, he's a great football player with a big heart that's going to do tremendous things for the Kansas City Chiefs, both on and off the field. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Frank.
Thank you, Brett. First off, I want to, thank you guys for coming out. I want to thank the Seahawks and, John Snyder and Pete Carroll for first and foremost believing in me, believing in my dream and drafting me back in 2015 when, at the time I felt like, nobody wanted me. Nobody was going to give me that fair shot. So, first off, I just want to thank those guys. I want to thank all of my teammates, especially the staff, the understaff who no one talks about, the cooks and, the janitorial staff because, we had great relationships and they took care of me. Again, I want to thank Brett. Brett is awesome, in his pursuit and coming to get me. And, I'm just thankful, because, it's been a long process, 4 years. And, you put your all on the line to get to this point. And, to finally get to this point and just, you got to take it all in sometimes because it's not like everyday things like this happen. And for that, I'm forever thankful.
Frank, what do you think you bring to this football team, and how will you impact them immediately?
I feel like I bring a unique set of abilities, like they spoke about before. I feel like I bring a type of attitude and swagger with my play that I feel like every coach loves, and I feel like my teammates will love. I feel like it's infectious. When you can play and make plays on the field and then bring other players with you, I feel like that's the key. I feel like that's when you become a great player. Not just about your individual stat, but when you can attribute and help in a whole nother manner, which helps out other players on your team. That's when I feel like you're doing the job. Yes, he's a great coach, legendary. He knows how to win, and I think that's key. And for a young guy like myself, I've only had 2 coordinators when I was there in Seattle. And for a guy like myself, to have a guy like Coach Spags around, it's just knowledge that I'm going to be able to gain, more knowledge, more game, and I'm all ears right about now, and I just want to learn as much as I can from a legend like yourself.
Yeah, I wish he wasn't playing going into that. He had a heck of a game against us. I think everybody here knows that. 55 was all over the place. And, you talk to Schwartzy, you talk to Fish, and they'll tell you what kind of player he is. I mean, they know firsthand. And the one unique thing is that it's every play. Every down is an honest down. There's not time off where he's cruising at all. And we have a great relationship with the Seahawks. So and whether it's Pete or John, we like them. They've been very honest with it, and they'll tell you that. Like they did yesterday, right? They mentioned it yesterday that in their press conference that he is going to bring it every snap in practice. He's going to bring it every snap during a game. He loves playing the game, and like he said right here, that's what coaches appreciate and they like. So.
Well, speaking on chemistry, you never know. You know, I feel like it's too early to speak on that. The one thing I do know, is that we're gonna be all right. I feel like we're gonna be better than 24th in the league on defense. I feel like last year, for a program that I wasn't a part of, but I had a chance to look at from the outside in. I'm seeing an explosive offense on the side where you got a guy like Pat Mahomes. He's doing everything he can to win. You got a whole group around him, and he's leading this group and his team at a young age. And that's just hats off to a guy like him. He came up to Seattle. At the time, he wasn't the MVP, but he was playing like, the reigning MVP of the league in, only his second year. And, man, I remember, preparing for that game, just going into that game, my coach telling me, Pat, he's a hell of a player. And, when you rushing, make sure you stay on the upfield shoulder because he got a mean spin move. And I remember rushing off the edge one play, getting a great jump. And the first thing I'm thinking as I'm rushing, like attack his upfield shoulder. And I bent a little bit too much. And I mean, you can check it out if you go watch that game. He kind of spent out of it, kind of pretty cool, and got up out of there. I missed the sack actually. And I knew right then, at that moment, I'm like, this kid gonna be the MVP of the league. He's special. And fast forward, I'm just thankful to be a part of it now.
Brett, what makes Frank better for you guys going forward than either Justin Houston or before?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think if you have a chance to sit down and just watch some tape, and I know you guys do a great job of cranking on some tape when you get a chance, but I think if you were able to just spend time and just watch Frank play, he doesn't really have any weaknesses. I mean, he is, again, I said, a trade of this magnitude would only be done if we felt he was elite. We feel he's one of the very best defensive players in the National Football League. He can win with speed. He can win with power. He can win inside as a rusher. He can win outside as a rusher. He's dominant versus the run. Again, he has almost no weaknesses to his game. And then when you throw in all those factors, and then you watch him play, he does it every single down. So it's, he's not gassing up for the fourth quarter. I mean, he starts the game and he ends the game in the same fashion. And he just keeps coming and coming and coming. And you watch the tape and look, when this process started and we made the moves we did and we moved on from obviously Justin and D and this was the plan. I mean, our plan was to try to get Frank Clark, and I told the guys like, look, I don't know if we're going to be able to get him. If Seattle doesn't tag him, he's going to cost a lot of money, right? If they do tag him, we're going to have some equity to get him. So this was our plan all along. This was the guy we targeted. And you guys know I'm rather persistent, and when when we find someone we like, we find a way to go get them. We did that with Pat Mahomes, and I told him this story. I said, we didn't have a first-round pick last year, and it was for the league MVP. And I told Frank this year, having those same conversations with Coach and Clark about Pat, having them with Frank. But Pat's an elite player, and Frank's an elite player. But again, he just doesn't have any weaknesses to his game.
Frank, how does it feel hearing that you would pursue courted, as they would say, by the Chiefs? And are you ready for the scrutiny and the pressure that your contract is going to, offer you here in Kansas City, where they're going to expect, as you mentioned, given what they gave up to get Patrick, that people are going to expect an MVP-like performance from you on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, of course, that's the perception. You get the big bucks, you got to play big, you got to do all these extraordinary things when, in reality, I mean, the money is great, but I want to be a better teammate than, I'm thinking about being a better teammate than the dollar I'm going to make, honestly. I feel like that's my ultimate goal. I don't even know, all my teammates right now, but, in the perfect fashion, in the perfect world, I know, the thought is like it's all about money. It's all about getting the big bucks, but it's much deeper than me here. I want to win some championships. I want to go to heights I've never been, the heights I dream about in my dreams and stuff like that. And I speak about a dream I had, a few days actually before they came and got me, and it was just amazing how everything happened. It happened just like I dreamed about it happening. And like I said, him sitting here saying that, I'm a guy who doesn't have any weaknesses. It just says a lot about his character because I look around and I see a lot of flaws all the time. But sometimes it's not what you think about yourself; it's what others think. And I feel like that's the impression I want to give out here instead of just a guy who's worth 105 million or whatever.
Describe your progression in terms of the maturity level since you entered.
It's been a long road, but it's a road that I've been happy to travel. At the end of the day, nothing's easy in life, especially my life. I've been through it. I've been through plenty of storms, and I've weathered them all. I know I'm gonna go through more stuff in life. That's the thing that I understand. I don't get complacent in thinking I'm perfect or thinking everything's gonna be fine or money makes everything fine or I know it's gonna be more things I'm gonna go through. I know it's gonna be more rocks and more challenges thrown. I just feel like I just got to keep on doing what I've been doing. That's staying persistent in my actions in the community, staying persistent in my actions with my teammates, and then my family.
Frank, your college career ended early because of the domestic violence charge. What have you learned since then, and what kind of self-evaluation have you done to learn and grow from that?
I've had to learn to be a better teammate, better person, and then just a better man in general. When you go through something like that and you put yourself in that position, the first thing is like you got to own up to it and understand what you did, what you've done. I affected a lot of people doing that. It wasn't just, Frank Clark or Frank Clark's family or anyone else. It was Frank Clark. It was the Michigan football team. Who would have known? Who would have known where we would have been if Frank Clark was still on that team? But unfortunately, it ended how it ended, and it's just something I have to learn and grow from. It's something I'll continue to learn and grow from. That's why I'm so persistent and, just bettering myself first. I'm persistent. It's 5 years later. I'm just persistent and just doing everything I have to do to spread my word and spread the message and, continue to speak out and be an advocate. I think that's important. I think you got to have a heart sometimes, a real heart, and that's just being real. I'm a real person. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I don't hide nothing. I don't got nothing to hide. I can barely hide. It's all out there, and that's just me. I feel like everyone's gonna get a chance to know me. I know what they read. I know everything people see, and I know the perception people can have, and that's easy. But I just feel like the hard part is getting to actually know somebody, and I feel like once everyone does that, they'll understand me as a person.
Following up on that, from what you just said, obviously, again, the contract is going to draw huge responsibility and a huge focus on you and your past. What assurances can you give Chiefs fans, knowing the history of what's been going on recently, since 2012 with the Chiefs, that you won't fall into the same issues that flooded you in the past?
Yeah. The assurance I can give you guys is just basically letting you know that it's no greater thing or action I can do, but just to keep it real. I mean, I feel like everything that I've done from that point is that. I feel like everything I've done has been opening and just been about opening up about my past and just hoping people understand just the type of person I am and where I come from. I feel like when you do something like that and you go through a situation like that, you can come out two sides. You can come out, in a positive manner, or you can come out negative. It can make or break you. And I definitely feel like this was one of the things that happened in my life amongst all the things that have happened that definitely made me better, a better person, a better father, and just, more understanding, more compassionate. And it's made my heart a little bit bigger. That's all.
Couple more guys.
Brett, with all due respect to you and Frank and Andy, we've got a million questions here about Tyreek. And I wanted to ask you, since the resolved after the release of the audio.
Yeah, I'm not going to have too much to add. Just, we're going to, again, as I said yesterday, we're going to continue to gather the information, evaluate the information, and then, as I said yesterday, I mean, we'll make the right decision when the time's appropriate.
Have you been in contact with the district attorney?
Again, I'm going to have no comment on that.
Brett, you said that Frank has a big heart. To what degree should Chiefs players and staff be role models for this community?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. I mean, that's a big deal. When Frank came in, and first thing we talked about is a player of his magnitude coming in here with this contract, he has a platform now. And he has the ability to reach the community. And again, I think if you did the homework and you talked to the people in Seattle and the things that he's able to do to help the homeless shelters out there, help the people in need, the kids in need. I mean, it's real, and he's done this. This isn't like made up. Now he has a platform now, and he has a stage to continue to share his story. I mean, Frank can relate to a lot of people that are going through some rough times, and I don't think there's been a lot of people that has gone through quite a road that Frank has. Being on the street and being homeless, and really just finding a way and finding a purpose in life. I mean, I'm sure there were times where, what's the purpose? Homeless shelters, sleeping on the street. It would have been very easy for Frank to quit and give up, and he's been through a lot. Now Frank has the opportunity to go in the community and meet people that are feeling the same way and share a story. And, if he can do it, others can do it. And I think it's important, and I think Frank's going to do that. And he's got a big heart, and he's got a great personality. I think the community's going to really embrace him.
I'm just so impressed that someone can go through the homelessness that Brett was just talking about and reach the level you are. Is that what has made you such a relentless player on the field? To be such a wonderfully nice man with, kids and the people who are in need, and then to be on the field, such a beast that quarterback here. Has that been part of the driving force in you? Those times, those memories, those where you didn't know where you were going to sleep?
I say that was part of it, that was a large part of it, and just, I'm gonna tell you, you would never understand, what a homeless person thinks at night when they don't have food or they don't have the money, the housing, unless you've actually lived the life. You see people on the side of the freeways. You see people with signs, holding up signs on the street, or, with their shelters built on the side of the road with baskets and tarp. But you don't really understand the way they think every day. And my thoughts every day when I was homeless was just like, Brett said, it was, what's the purpose? What's my purpose here in life? So I'm going through depression. I'm battling all type of stuff, and it was really, I struggled for the longest in trying to find my purpose in life. And it got to a point where I started understanding myself a little bit better, as I got older, as I started maturing. And it was really, I wouldn't say the last 5 years, but say the last 6 years, that's the time it's taken for me to really understand my purpose in life and what I really need to be doing with everything, especially now when I can use my platform to touch many more people. And when you waking up, you're on the streets or you're in the shelter and you sharing a community shower with, 400 or 500 people, it's very humbling. Some nights you don't get the shower because they was packed, or, some nights I don't get a meal because it might not be necessarily something that we eat, or, it might not really be that good, but I'm still thankful because it's being put in front of me. And, just when you can take that, step into seeing it, how they view things, and being in that position, you'll understand it a little bit more. And I feel like that's my job, to help the people who don't really understand it, and to help those who do, to feel a little bit better about it, because it's a touchy subject, the topic of being homeless and just the homelessness epidemic, not just in Seattle or Los Angeles, but everywhere across the country. It touched me on the way to the building, and I see guys on the side of the road here holding signs, And it's just something that in my head and in my heart is just, I want to help change. I know it's a little change, but I feel like with a little change, it'll lead to a lot more, So that's really my goal here.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, guys. Take some pictures here. Picture time? Uh-oh. Light pictures.
Everybody good?
Good, Steve. All right, Coach, and